Human Gods, 80, Billionaire Samurai, Soul of Silicon Valley. The 44th and 46th President Donald Trump calls him the CEO of everything. Elon Musk, worth $373 billion, says he's one of the smartest persons he knows. Larry Ellison is a living legend, and the 80 a Silicon Valley samurai. Larry's discipline is, if you want to compete against me, then you better be prepared to be destroyed in every battle. Larry Ellison starts Oracle software over 30 years ago, from a seed to become best paid and the most influential executive behind the curtain over the last decades, with estimates of a whopping $172.5 billion. There has never been a better salesman to make you believe this is that perfect product your business needs. He sees so much he seems to have been born before this time. Nicknamed the Oracle of Oracle. Whatever it takes to win in the office. Look at SAP, the German software firm ordered to pay Oracle $1.3 billion. Or on the ocean, it's absolutely no doubt that he hates to lose. His company's Oracle technology is the backbone of our famous World Wide Web, from government to online commerce. The brazen billionaire is an ambitious provocateur with a singular management style. As he says himself, no one can accuse him of lacking ambition. There's a theory that Larry's succession plan for Oracle is trying to figure out a way that when he's 6 feet under in a grave, he can still run Oracle. Not impossible with AI, what do you think? Perhaps most surprising, Larry's Oracle is no flash, but still part of our internet's soul. It's the essential tools we use every day, but never think it's Larry's Oracle. Are you watching this video right now, with data, on a working device? No, all this is Larry. Almost everybody in the world uses Oracle, they just don't know it. Do any government transaction with almost any government in the world. Any currency transaction with almost any internet business in the world, or even local business. Yes, it's true if you have a credit card, if you have a cell phone, if you have any of the modern things in life, if you are human or even AI, I think you may be using Oracle. Larry Ellison, inarguably, is technology's oxygen by importance. Oracle created the most important software you have never heard of, but use with every breath. Larry Ellison, the man is great in every conversation for his tremendous change in the way we all live. Are you ready now? Born in the Bronx in 1944, Larry Ellison grew up in Chicago. When he was 12, his supposed father, as blunt as bad news, says, "Oh, by the way, you were adopted, and we're having meatloaf tonight." Larry is shocked. He just put it away for years without really confronting and realizing all the implications. Twice he drops out of college. Ellison, like Edison, was a mediocre student and disliked formal education. Mike Wilson is an editor for the St. Petersburg Times and interviewed Ellison extensively for his biography, The Difference Between God and Larry Ellison. He was not interested in following the rules at school, in the family, or anywhere else. So Larry needed to get out from under Louis Ellison's shadow and prove to his father and the world that he had greatness. He was a stylish guy and knew how to impress people, so Larry buys a turquoise blue Thunderbird and drives away fast to California. His feelings for the fast lane were always obvious. He was still young and full of potential. This trip to California was critical to shaping who he becomes. Larry settled at Berkeley and made money writing code. In 1973, he works at the computer electronics maker Amdahl. There he meets Stuart Fagan. They've remained friends for over 35 years. Stuart walks into his cubicle the first day. Looking across the hall, he sees a couple of guys who never seem to do any work, just talk all the time. And one talks lots about himself, how smart he was, and how he really ought to be running everything. Yes, that was Elison. Elison was a talented but impatient programmer, desperate to build something he could own and control. Stuart says he has the attention span of a lightning bolt. But his attention focused when he lands a job at this company called Ampex. Ampex now was struggling with a secret project funded by, of all places, almighty CIA. The project was codenamed Oracle. The CIA needs a system to store and retrieve vast amounts of foreign intelligence concerned with its various sensitive operations and missions. For Ellison, that's a perfect job and would plant the mustard for his future. In 1970s, data storage meant putting data on reel-to-reel tape, which was just too slow and inconsistent for the CIA, built for speed and efficiency. He leaves Ampex and, with a group of friends, later starts his own company with programming genius Bob Miner. Bob and Larry were a perfect Silicon Valley odd couple. Bob, a wizard of engineering, and Larry, a king of sales with a visionary ability to make a customer believe his product would change their business. Larry wasn't famous for finishing things, but here is Oracle. From an original handwritten sign and $1,200, they first started Software Development Laboratories, or SDL. Elison recruited friends at Amdahl like Stuart Fagan to help program. The new company still needed a product, and after reading an obscure IBM research paper, he thought he had it. A method of sorting information that was vastly superior to anything that had come before. It was called a relational database. According to Gary Bloom, who worked with Ellison for 14 years, it was a complex name, but a simple idea. What is relational database? It's very simply a collection of data and information that's put into a format that makes it very easy to search and find that information. It's nothing more complicated than that. IBM didn't see the potential of what they had, but the genius Ellison did. He said, quote, "Oh my God, we can beat IBM to markets because IBM doesn't believe in their own idea." So immediately Bruce Scott started writing code. Larry saw a market for it, and he was right. Now still 34, Larry Ellison's new software company was busy creating a smart database they thought would revolutionize how companies retrieve, manage, and analyze data. 3 rooms and a little lobby area. 4 writing programs, while Larry was mostly involved outside in finding customers. That was crazy because there was no software yet. He wasn't the leader you would read about, but he was tenacious and would never give up on anything. Ellison chased and found the first customers, becoming the company's face. There was nobody better than Larry, who sold the idea all businesspersons needed his product, knowing they still needed an efficient solution for the monumental task of managing worldwide intelligence. Ellison sold his database to the CIA, his first customer. He called the new software Oracle version 2. There was no version 1 because it was common sense. No one buys version 1. It's buggy, so Larry started with version 2. Well, version 2 was as buggy as anyone's version 1 because data went in, but it didn't come out. Still in 1982, Ellison also took the name Oracle for his company. He targeted government agencies and major corporations in his own samurai way. Larry was really good. Once he told the Bank of America they were 15 when in fact there were 5. He knew why the Bank of America would think differently if you were 5 or 15. Ellison also sharpened his sales philosophy with roots in a trip he had taken to Japan in the early 1970s. He was in Japan and talking to peer business executive who says truly America has no stomach for competition. Funny thing, it's capitalism's home. In Japan, they believe competitors are just stealing the rice out of the mouths of their own children. Japan thinks anything less than market share 100% is not enough. A new samurai, Elison, is born. Take no prisoners approach became known as the Oracle Way. The Oracle Way in the early to mid-80s was simply put, win by any means necessary. Larry's attitude now becomes to win or to win. His flagship the Oracle database took off like a jet fighter in one of his ads, and in 1986, Oracle went public. His now 39% stake in the company becomes $93 million. The IPO was a huge hit, but was lost in the cloud the next day by Microsoft's own IPO, which made Bill Gates' own stake worth a huge $350 million. 1989, Ellison moved Oracle to the Mammoth campus in Redwood Shores, California, which became known as the Emerald City, a metaphor to the Wizard of Oz, or like one newspaper described it, Larryland, and everyone knew who Oz was. Larry never likes to be second, he wants to be first, always. But being first is hard, not at all cows and rainbows, it takes its toll. Oracle hit a wall, then the aggressive sales practices now started to cause heavy problems. Oracle's Colombian necktie sales practices in the 80s turned the company into a financial maze. A sales army so aggressive, so focused on closing deals, but with so few business controls, they started having the problems of bad contracts. Also selling products before existence. Oracle was selling the future. They were taking a lot of money in, a lot of revenue in for future deliverables. Well, the question came, when you finally have those deliverables, now who do you sell them to? You already sold it to everybody. Oracle sold it to them 3 years before they had it. It didn't help the new Oracle version 6 was riddled with bugs. Customers were skeptical, and sales plummeted. It's oftentimes likened to Julius Caesar's crossing the Tiber of Oracle in the early 90s, and it was. Larry had to think twice and trim. Oracle's stock price was in free fall, so was Larry's personal stock. By November 1st, 1990, he lost $790 million. How was this a billion-dollar operation and failing? Larry was trying to achieve greatness and building towards that. All the time he forgot this business wasn't a little business anymore. What does Larry do? Ray Lane comes in, and with new management, they replace virtually all senior management. Not a happy process. But flip side, he brought the discipline and the maturity how big business runs. This was a chaotic, painful culture reset. But the company's real Jesus came in the form of a new product. Oracle 7 was a spectacular product. The future looked heavenly, bright, and everyone within Oracle admits this was not just better, it was 6 yards short of a miracle. Ellison's company had dodged a bullet. This was 1994. Oracle now passed the $2 billion mark, and Larry's stake now was worth shy of $3 billion. For Ellison, this was not enough. To truly be samurai, he needs a new target, software's reigning champion, Bill Gates. Was he disappointed he wasn't richer than Bill Gates? Or was it just the scorecard of if you weren't number 1, you were number 2? It is what it is, he was down. Critics think that Larry thought he was in a tremendous competition with Bill, but for Gates, the world was only Microsoft. Elison was like Edison, to be the greatest, innovator, salesman, evangelist of software, he must battle Gates like Tesla's AC. Bill Gates was the man who had put his software in every single PC made in the human world. Was Larry ready? He later admits publicly to hiring private detectives to dig up dirt on Bill. This lost valuable time. Gates brings a brand new Windows 95. The entire tech world buzzes, including Ellison himself, appearing on Charlie Rose's show. He says the Windows 95 is an enormously complicated software, and the idea people would install and use this in the household is hilarious, and he would bring something easier to use. While this was a strategy to throw on Microsoft, Larry knew the way to throw off Microsoft is not throwing darts at Bill Gates. Try dig up dirt, hate, or envy Bill Gates. You must think and create products that are better than the Microsoft products. Ellison makes the move into the computer market. He calls it the network computer, or NC. He launched the NC with great expectations. He says the personal computers made are rather expensive and very complex. So, Larry introduces this new computer in his words, for normal human beings. NC is low cost, very light. You can surf the web, do email and he says it's going to be $500. Not surprisingly, we humans don't speak Oracle. It's alien. There was a discussion with him, saying it's clear the internet makes it possible to imagine a world without Microsoft's operating system on every desktop. But even with Ellison on a campaign to promote the power of his new baby with the web while mocking the popular PC, it changed nothing. Falling PC prices meant NC was failing. You ask why? It was not the idea. Rather, our Overton window. Check this out. 5 years later, it may have won the world. The difference now was competition, that is Dell, HP, everybody else. Gateway, what did they do? They respond with a $500 PC that surfs the web and, of course, does email beautifully. Elison now shuts down ventures into the consumer market and sees just too much foreign in those times. People thought then Larry was crazy. Now he's the genius. But his dream of the internet never left his eyes. Oracle's database becomes the underbelly of multiple internet services that we don't even consider today. Expedia, Amazon, eBay, just a few applications using Oracle. Storing the information, analyzing the information, sending the information, billions of transactions universally are the Oracle database. Solving tech's biggest problems made Oracle an elite company by 2000. Oracle, like Congressman Stuart McKinney, a Connecticut Republican's well-known phrase, was too big to fail. Only internal struggles remained now. The company president Ray Lane and heir apparent soon had to leave. Oracle had become a titan, and 100% was no longer the required, but 200%. The first got rewarded millions, and everyone else was second. Lane didn't make the new quota. Larry didn't make the quota too. Oracle, the software, was flying high, but was down with one key area. Oracle was number 2 in applications war. To win first, Larry needs to do what he has long avoided, not creating, but buying new products through acquisitions. Once he did stomach that conclusion, it was go big or go home, and with Larry, going big was never an issue. Elison buys new application software with Oracle's success. First battle, he targets the company PeopleSoft in a hostile takeover attempt. Department of Justice intervenes and sues Oracle on antitrust libel. The government claims a takeover would lead Oracle to unfairly raise rates and slow innovation. The battle lasts a year and a half, but Elison and Oracle win big. Larry buys PeopleSoft with a massive $10.3 billion. Not only is it rare to get sued by governments and win, most people would have simply walked out and given up from start. Rather, Elison raised the bar. Within 5 years, he spent close to $34 billion, gobbling up total of 52 companies. Larry's appetite peaked with a new target, the huge $7.4 billion buyout of prominent hardware company Sun Microsystems. Later, Valentine's Day 2010, Elison brought the America's Cup back to the United States for the first time in 15 years for $400 million. He celebrated with his now ex-wife, romance novelist Melanie Kraft. It was his 4th marriage. Samurai Larry's next battle began when his peer Mark Hurd left as CEO at HP amid rumors of sexual misconduct and finance irregularities. Elison was venomous. He attacks HP's board with, quote, "The HP board just made the worst personnel decision since the idiots on the Apple board fired Steve Jobs many years ago." Not a month after, he stuns Wall Street, hiring the ousted CEO. This Silicon Valley drama continued with shockwaves as HP appointed Leo Apotheker its new CEO. His company, SAP, was after all Oracle's biggest rival in business software. SAP and Oracle fight again in a 3-year copyright infringement battle that ends only in November 2010. The court orders SAP, the German software firm, pay $1.3 billion to Oracle. It's the biggest settlement for software piracy. Larry Ellison's IT battles only reinforces his determination. Win, win, win. Larry Ellison liked to quote, "He had the disadvantages necessary for success. Our visions die in dreams. Larry sees what he wants, and then he does the work to make it reality. It's like that." Now again with Project Stargate, the largest AI infrastructure. A giant $500 billion initiative launched by Larry Ellison's Oracle, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, SoftBank CEO Masayoshi Son, and MGX, endorsed by the full weight and blessing of the 44th and 46th President Donald J. Trump. He rises again. Larry Ellison starts with a $1,200 stake with a hope of a little 30-employee company, but by relentless ambition, drive, and most important action, he builds Oracle into one of the greatest software companies in the known world. His life teaches us his own famous disciplines. You make a living by what you get. You make a life by what you give. Winston Churchill. And Mark Twain's quote, "What is an expert anyway? Just a stranger from out of town. Never put off till tomorrow what may be done today." Thank you and stay tuned for Human Gods coming soon. Bill Gates, PC King.